my kitty, my little kitty, is right here with us. But I did want to tell you guys for some reason, actually before I do, all information to work with me below is, I keep doing this, all information to work with me is below, as well as the second part to this reading, which gets even more in depth. I think they're so worth it. There's so much that comes out of them from the first reading to the second part. Just my opinion, if you want to check that out. And for any other things that I do, just email me. I have an email below and I do quite a few different things. What I was going to tell you guys is that I have this, so I have 2 cats. If you haven't seen them already, if you're new, welcome. And we got them this cat fountain because they do love running water. I didn't know that as someone who never had cats before. So we have this constant water fountain in the house and it's just so calming. I have it on in the background right now and that's it. We never really turn it off, but it's so calming to have. And I just wanted to offer you that, a little bit of water, because this month could be a little bit more of an extended emotional side of you. I mean, we're coming up to your season. So if your chart is more of a general or more of a normal chart, you have Aries passing through your 11th house right now. For Gemini risings only though, okay? So this month may start off with some things that are being revealed to you. Being revealed to you situationally. Realize how you or other people around you react in a situation. So today also is the day of the full moon. So, you know, relationships are big this month. Relationship with yourself is even more pronounced in how that affects the relationship you have with other people in your life, depending on what kind of relationship you have, from friendships to relationships to, I mean, romantically, to how your relationship with work, all of it. It's very Venusian, very people like things that we really focus on as people most over anything else. And you come into the season, have learned something, have already learned what kind of person you are in the situation, how much what drives you is off of sometimes friction. You know, it's great to use, whether it's anger, aggravation, frustration, any of that, channeling it into whatever it is that you do, whatever you find it is that you love to speak upon or put out there. I would say this month, you know, you're not going to want to hold back. This is what I'm seeing here. However, I really do think this is about observing how you do things before you actually do it. Now, you say this is Aries season, like, why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just go ahead and act on it? Well, because we're maturing as signs, right? You want to mature as you go forward, I think, right? Some places not so much because it's better not to, right? It really just depends. But if you want to surely get into any kind of internal, if you want to bring any of your internal like frustrations or friction outside of you, that will happen naturally, and it could even promote you to find an answer. But I wouldn't say use fighting as a catalyst. Maybe honesty. Mercury is in Taurus. Maybe honesty. Maybe some things do need to come out in order for resolution to happen, but I wouldn't say go provoking anyone, including yourself, because whenever we're in these kinds of places, even if it's just one aspect of our life, it's vulnerable. You want to treat it with respect. Regardless of what you need to say or what they need to hear, you still need to respect the space that you're in and the space that another person is in. If they've wronged you or harmed you, that's totally, you know, your call, out of my hands. I mean, I don't know, you know, Sometimes you gotta do shit. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta say what you gotta say. But if this ultimately is just something rehashing itself, or you just wanting something to get done, or you just wanting what you want out of the situation, it's really not going to get you anywhere. And if you try to rush that, or if you try to force that, you'll find that there's a conversation that's had that's usually not had quite just yet, that you're kind of pushing the process. And yes, that is one of your strengths, to, you know, provoke, to inspire, to just let it all out. However, if you want to burn out this month, it's a great way to go. But you want to be able to develop into next month. And that's kind of why I'm saying this, is you want next month to be this very space that you want to create, and anything else to fall away this month. Because I do think that we don't realize the Aries season, yes, it's the beginning, this fire, but it's burning everything behind it that is no longer needed. That's how I see it. So if that's what you want and that's what you're going for, if that's something that you find useful for you, I would say listen to that. Listen to yourself first. Don't let someone else or something from the past or your need for friction as inspiration to be what's guiding what's next. Because there's a benefit. You know how you say these people, like, there's a lot of people in the world I've heard say, like, I want to just prove this person wrong. You know, I really want to show them up. And I can give an example of someone I know, my partner, my boyfriend. He set out to do something with someone in spite of what his last relationship, what she had said to him. And that only worked for about a year. Now he's no longer speaking to this other person he was supposed to go do something with. And he realized he actually wants to do something to help people because he's a natural healer. So ego versus your authenticity. Ego versus your authenticity. We get lost sometimes because we need our ego. We need it. But sometimes it's showing you and trying to reveal to you that there's a path you haven't traveled yet, that there's something you haven't looked at yet, that there is more than you can imagine, and you're not even letting yourself go there. You're just getting stuck in this one old pattern, right? So also I would check where Libra is in your like in your houses or in your planets. If you have Libra, some people don't. We don't always have all the signs in us, but more than likely you have all of the signs in you, and we get stuck just on our sun sign, our rising sign, our moon sign, or whatever sign. And I think it's important to take a look at where, because I'm recording this on the day of the full moon, which is really this huge reflection and what's the other word? Exaltation, not in the astrology terms, or exposing very clearly, very upfront in your face, what is important to be seen right now. Where there's a difference between where one aspect will take you and where the other one will. If you feel stuck, it's time to surrender. I've heard this before, but remember, we're always remembering. So in this life as humans, whether you believe you were a human in a past life or not, regardless of what it is, all of everything has already happened here on Earth. We have heard of many ancient civilizations that have died and will be one of those someday, right? Other dimensions have taken place, different people. So at some point, you're someone else at some other time, and maybe you still are, because I believe in that. And they do have a lot of research on that now, if you're more, if you're really lean on more your intellectual side. But I have a great affinity for these books by Dr. David Hawkins. He has now died. And I recently was introduced to the one Letting Go last year. So remembering that surrender is letting go of control. It's not just stopping your entire life. It's letting go of control wherever you can't have control over right now. And Aries season's like, hey, I have so much energy to give you. I have so much power to give you, so you can utilize it, but you're stuck on this one thing that you just can't control. Can you let go? And then it comes on, it's like, can you let go? And then you're just like, I allow myself to let go. And you notice what happens from there, bottom of the deck. There's something within you that wants to come out. There's something that has been cultivating within you, and for some reason you're avoiding it. And a lot of times when we avoid things, there could be emotion. So you may find yourself relieving yourself of emotion this month because of this decision, because whatever happens this month is going to cause a greater effect in your life as it rolls out, because this is the eclipse season. You know, at the end of the month we have the solar eclipse in Aries and the finish of the Taurus and Scorpio eclipses. So then we roll out for the next 6 months, and that's kind of your theme until we get to the next section of the eclipses, which won't be too much different, but they all affect a different house. You know what I'm saying? So also looking at where Aries is in your house, if you're a Gemini rising, your Aries is going to be in the 10th house, which is people, you know, community, how you're the public side of you, you know. So you're seeing where some things are just not aligning, and that there's something within you, and there's something that's you've been holding back, or you need courage to say. And I think that through this subtle surrender, the courage is just going to come out of you, that whatever happens after this, and as you know, being mostly lucky, and I don't know why, so I just want to say that a lot of people do, and I've seen this all over, which is so weird, and even in my own personal life, like Geminis and Scorpios and people getting like, ugh, I don't really like them, or it's like, I think that sometimes that's what drives you too, but that's also not true. People just don't get it. Like when you have such a distaste towards a certain sign, if you're very into astrology, usually it's because you have work to do in that way. And I heard that somewhere, but I also have done that myself. I had, you know, I didn't like a certain sign, but it's only their sun sign, right? Not that I didn't like, there's qualities in them where I was just like, yo, get over yourself. Turns out I have double of that sign in my house system. Go figure. Then I had to just relook and honor that part of myself. It doesn't mean that I love every single one of those signs still now. I think everyone's very different regardless of, I can meet someone of that sign and someone else, and they could be, you know, different depending on what's also around them. So it's only the sun sign that you're focusing on, or the rising sign. However, and I'm saying this to say to you that in the same way people can do that with astrology, we can do that with people, meeting people. We think we know them off of first impression. You may, because you just know sometimes. However, right now, don't just lean into that and trust the next person that you connect with, because you're still going through the shift. Anyone you're meeting right now, you should give like a 90-day probation, almost like this period of time where you get to know them, friendship, whatever it is, where you're getting to know them, because there's so much in you that you're discovering right now and uncovering, that by that 90-day you can just never see that person again and not care, or they can become a really good friend of yours down the road, or romantic, doesn't matter, or business, you know, any of those things. But basically, there's something that is cultivating within you. There's some time that you need to take to gain some perspective, some questions that you need to ask and then let go of, and allow the universe to possibly answer my favorite way. Because if you go searching, you're only going to stress yourself out possibly and burn yourself out more. So I'm just saying that there's an easier way. Even if you, let me retract that. there can be an easier way. If you're not used to that, sometimes it can feel hard, but a lot of times it's because emotion needs to come out of us first in order for it to shift. So what happens as we come to the end of the season is this chance to really fill up, this chance to really fill yourself and make the cuts, or realize where the distractions are, realize what's a good distraction and what's not, to uncover and unblock this part of you that really has so much to receive and give back. All right, we'll get more into the second part now. Very excited about it. And your birthday is coming up. And I also have a new podcast out. It's actually kind of old, but I just put it out. I'm also going to be putting out some new content with the Venus sign, with the Venus transit, because this is the Venusian wave, and Venus goes into the lovely sign of Gemini next, where a lot will be more uncovered and will make sense by that, more by that time, which is on the 11th. But again, we'll get into that in the second part. I had taken care of myself to do this past month, so that's why I didn't start with the Taurus, but I'll do a little bit of that in the next one, so in the first one, where we can put that all together. All of that you can find below. Again, the Venus sign is not out yet, but you will find it on Patreon, which that is in a link below, especially for the second part, which gets so good. So I hope you check it out. Thank you for your support thus far, and we'll see you soon.